And it's Alex J for his ENC project. I did the Battle of Fort Fissher, which Fort Fissher was guarding Wilmington, which was the last major southern port in the Confederacy during the Civil War. So right now I just thought it'd be appropriate to actually show Wilmington why it was so important, the supply hub. So as you see, I got a road. They're going in and out with supplies to take to Robert E. Lee's army of Northern Virginia, which Wilmington was the last port that could actually get Robert E. Lee supplies. That's why it was so important to the South. Got a dock over there. Horses going with food, water supplies, everything. You got a nice shot of the ocean. Then you got two guys debating on how much they want to sell the cannons for, because blockade runners did not come cheap due to the fact it was a very dangerous job. I got some shots of the fort here depicting the batteries, all that, the cannons that were there. You got nice line rifle pits. As you can see, you got, there's the ocean. A parasite wall that was there. You got the land front, that's the sea front with the ocean in the background. Sea front again. You got the land front here that was kind of facing the ocean. The fort was an L-shaped, like 2 miles long. There you got the Cape Fear front. Officer briefing his men. The ocean again. Plus, this is the land front. Officer, the commander of the fort, General White, 2 people with him, aides. Guys with bayonets ready. Cannon crews. A little nervous after the first battle, which took place on the 25th of December. The Union naval fleet brought a large naval fleet. They bombarded the fort. Supposedly, the admiral in charge of the fleet claimed he fired 5,000 shells into the fort, which is apparent because today, after every major storm, you will find shells. He also brought around 8,000 men, and around 3,000 of those took part in the general attack, if I am correct. But the bombardment was the largest to date, and I think it is only rivaled by D-Day. Got some guys kind of on a little sand dune thingy, firing down, and they hit him. Guys coming out of the rowboats, cannons, guy with shell. The cannon shot them. They're all dead. They're going over the side, jumping, because the fire's so heavy. Now, we only had 1,900 men in the fort. The Confederacy didn't have that many men, especially in 1865, they could spare. Robert E. Lee, his army was probably one of the largest. It was, can't name it, maybe 80,000 men at the strongest, which was in 63, when Jackson was still alive. But by this time, this late in the war, after Cold Harbor, stuff like, he's got less than 30,000 men. He's besieged in Petersburg. It's just chaos through the Confederacy. Sherman's marched to the sea, burned Atlanta. He's burned South Carolina. He's burning everything. Crops, everything. We can't do nothing about it. So, Fort Fissher was very vital. But we didn't have any men to send to it. So, they eventually broke through, overpowered us. As soon as they got over the wall, it was over. You got ruins because they bombarded it so much. You got dirt and everything blown off from the hillside. Again, some guys firing. Guys landing. Second wave, kind of. They're breaching off to another part. Kind of coming in. I got this spaced off into 3 sections: the land front and the sea front and Wilmington. So right now you're looking at the sea front, and in a minute you'll have the land front. You got command base where the flag is. Colonel Lamb, the commander of the fort, actually was killed there, and the death of General White also. He was a general, but he wasn't supposed to be there. He actually went AWOL to come join his best friend, Colonel White. He designed the Cape Lookout White House, graduated first in his class at West Point, which is not an easy achievement. So he was pretty smart, except for the fact that he went AWOL to get sent to his death. So he basically came and stood with his friend and was killed because of it. The exact number of Confederate dead is unknown to this day, which in my opinion means someone had something to hide. So you got the land front now. You go back, you got the American, aka Union, are coming up to the wall now, but they've also got men going on the land front. Palisade wall there. Rifle pits with cannons in them. They're breaking through that part of the rifle pit. You got a guy screaming for his men to keep moving forward. Officer. You got a cannon shot that kind of took out this area. Some guys reloading. Sergeant briefing his men on what to do since he's further in the rear. Got several guys' bayonets fixed, charging at this column of Union troops. You got an overall bird's eye shot of the depiction of the situation. This one's better. Where they're coming into the trenches, they're squeezing them, they're killing them. They're actually getting pretty farther now. Some of them are in the trenches. You got destroyed cannon from bomb blast. Cannon shot knocked all of them out but one. Guys reloading, guys kind of running, trying to figure out what they're going to do now. A flag, they're holding their position but they're being overrun. Flag there. Got a couple of guys here. Again, wounded cannon, bombarded. Here's one of my favorite shots. You got a handful of Confederate defenders taking on all of these guys. They've been outflanked, outmaneuvered, out everything. Here you got pretty good gravity of the situation. They're busted through. It's over now, basically for them. You got the Cape Fear side, which they actually came up the L after they got through the land front. Started attacking Cape Fear side, which that's the major. He was the one that surrendered after White and Lamb were killed. He was actually a commander of Fort Huggins, which you've probably never heard of it, but it's in Swansboro, kind of. It's out on one of the islands. It was an 8-gun battery, if I'm correct, that was decommissioned in like 62 or 63 of 1860s. 1862 or 1863 sometime. But he was transferred here after that. He was the one that would surrender. Got the Cape Fear side, rifle pits mostly with cannons guarding it. This is where the blockade runners would come in. Now you got the Union attacking it. They've come to write about where they were. They repulsed the first wave. You got a cannon shot. They killed a couple of them, but the guys already retreated with the rest. Here's basically a bird's eye shot, general situation. It's over. You got them coming in over there. You can see they've taken out the main part. They're coming this way. Battery Buchanan, where they surrendered at, you can see a handful of them just grouped up, holding the line, knowing the end was near. You got these guys are coming. They've knocked out the entire resistance along that side. Then you got the surrender. General surrendering to the major. Unconditional surrender papers in his hand with Battery Buchanan. Then you got Wilmington. You have the retreat. They're running away. Not running away. They're pulling back. Pulling out of Wilmington with all the supplies and everything. And funny thing is, North Carolina killed Lincoln. When we were running, grabbing all the flags from the decimated regiments on the muddy road, one of them fell out. An Indiana regiment walked by. As you know, Lincoln was in Indiana at the time. They picked up the flag. The governor of Indiana, who was a big supporter of Lincoln, it was his year of re-election, asked Lincoln to come. Lincoln did on the day that John Wilkes Booth was going to kidnap him. Instead, John Wilkes Booth wouldn't forget it with killing him. So we influenced the death of Lincoln, basically. Fort Fisher did. Which makes it an interesting thing. I got credits going by. The all-important copyright date. And that's it. Hope you enjoy it.